Well, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas to everyone, Happy Holidays. Thank you. Good to see everybody. I was with, I think this group here, last time we were here was the groundbreaking, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're making some progress out on the site. You can see in this aerial picture, I'm just going to run through really quickly, give you a status update and show you some pictures of where we're at with the construction and fill you in a little bit. So each month we're having these aerial photos done so we can kind of document the progress of construction, and this photo was probably taken sometime in October, or in November I should say. As you can see, just to orient you to the site, this is Borden, and this is the road Tom was referring to called Athena. We used to call that road K. And just to help folks picture what's going to happen, this is where the villa homes are, or the cottage homes are. This is where the health center will be. This is where the clubhouse will be. And this is the independent living apartment building right in this area. So the front entrance is right here. Okay? So it's just zoomed in a little bit to show you a little bit more closer view. Yeah, go ahead.
Are the woods to the right going to stay there? The trees to the right?
Yeah, this is all a wetland.
Okay. And that stays?
That all stays there.
Your mic isn't working.
The mic is cutting
If I talk a little bit closer to the mic, does it work? All right. Well, hey, feel free to keep yelling because I'll probably pull it away somewhere down the line. But yeah, the question was, are the trees staying in this area? And yes, this is a wetland area, so those trees will stay. We're on the topic of trees. If you've driven by there, a lot of trees are down as compared to when you were there before. And obviously a lot of those came out from construction, what was intended to come out, and then there were more that were taken out because we had some really heavy winds. And so there will be a replanting. And the replanting requirement is 3 to 1. So every one that came out that wasn't supposed to come out, 3 will be planted. So you'll have a really nice dense buffer area in there. And currently we have the landscape architect working on a replanting plan. And so that will be reviewed by the owner and as well then the city before that's implemented.
Thank you.
Where is Costco in relationship for those of us that aren't good with the street?
All right, help me with Costco. I know Costco is this way.
That's a landmark.
Right down here somewhere? All right. So some of the marketing folks will know, how far of a walk is it to Costco or the what? Half a mile. All right. Another interesting point. I'm going to remind me when we get to this, well, actually right here. So this is the park site. You see where some of these trailers are? That's Gateway Park. And then outside the view, you can see there's more trailers on the other side, just to the right of that first roundabout. And that is the Village Town Center site. So the grocery store and some of the other retail areas will eventually be developed there as well. And what we're hearing is the timeline for that is pretty close to our completion. They'll be getting started, and the park will be done when you move in. And then shortly thereafter, the Village Center will be starting to open up. So this is a view from the opposite direction. You can see the pond as a frame of reference and those trees for the wetland area. And you can see this plastic here. That's the step up from grade because the bottom of the apartment building here is lower than the uphill parking lot. And so what that is actually plastic. You're seeing plastic over the things because when we're working in the rain, we don't want anything to run downhill too fast, and so we're trying to protect the grades there. So from a standpoint of how are things going based on schedule, I'll give you a frame of reference on that. So let's start with just when we started. So when we first contemplated the project in 2012, we assumed that we would start the same fall that we did in 2015. But when we started sales, we actually had added more apartments, and so we thought that at that time to sell those additional apartments we'd need until next spring, so spring of 2016 to even get started. So from a starting point, we're actually ahead of schedule. from when we started sales. And we're on schedule currently from what was set at the time that we financed, which assumes that we would have move-ins starting in April of 2017. We've had to build in some cushion in the construction schedule because we knew we were starting in the rainy season. And so we're kind of chipping away at that cushion a little bit. The current schedule would assume that the construction will get done sometime in March of 2017. And we know we still have more rain to work through. And so just to give you some flavor for what that means, back to this picture, the mass grading has been done, so that's good. We've got all that out of the way. Then the next thing is the deep trench utilities, so the sewer, water, and storm sewers. Those are about 70% complete. We've got active fire hydrants out here, which is what the city required for us to be able to start the foundation work. And all of the deep trench work that's around the foundations of the buildings is complete now. And so even though we're 70% complete on the site utilities, we're far enough along that we're not in our own way for building the foundations. So that's a good thing. There will be a point where we got to keep that, each day we decide, the contractor decides, is it a good enough weather forecast in order to open up more trench to put in more pipe, or are we going to open it up and create a swimming pool? So we're not going as fast on that work as we'd like, but we have some float until we get to the point that we need to put the streets in and put the paving down. So that's a good thing. So just give you a few pictures of what's going on there. Some really nice size footings for this big building. This is uphill looking down over the plastic slopes there. That's that greenbelt area. So you're going to start hearing eventually in some of these updates areas A, B, and C. So what we're looking at here is area B, the middle portion of the apartment building. And area C is the portion closest to the clubhouse, and area A is that portion that steps up where there's no parking garage underneath it. And currently we've got foundations in area B, and we have the plumbing work on area B that's been pretty much completed, underground plumbing. And the foundations are going into area C, but before we can do area A, we've got that vertical step up, you know, from the parking garage height to the next level. And so they're working on that, and hopefully weather permitting, they'll pour that wall this week, and then we'll be doing foundations up there on area A. There's that step up that I'm referring to. So up here, we haven't gotten to the foundations yet because we got to finish the stuff below it first. That's a pile of gold right there. I'm not kidding. What we found when we were doing the excavation for mask excavation is some veins of some really good material that will allow us, it compacts really well. So we stockpiled it so that when we're ready to backfill these foundations, we don't have to bring in dry, good fill from outside. So when I say it's a pile of gold, it's because I've had projects where you put $1 million into soil amendment just to get it so you can compact it. And this is good fill here. So that was a good find. You can see some of those plumbing risers going in. It's just an aerial view from the other direction, so we're up above the town center. See the pond on the left and on the right, pile of gold in the middle. Again, this is area A, area B, area C. This will be the clubhouse. This is the area where the health center is, and then all the villa homes around here. And then eventually, phase 2 will plug in over here. Another angle. All right, before we turn it over to Tom to introduce Christy and Sarah, I wanted to just give you a little bit of an update on, you know, where we're at with our permits and the things that we need to complete the building. We have the foundation permit right now. We've got everything we need from the state. The Department of Health has signed off. The city is still reviewing a couple of little things for the overall building permit. And when it comes to resident selections, some of you have met with Christy already. The city has decided to make things a little bit more complicated when it comes to resident selection. So we've not had a situation where when a small change has to go back through review for the city. And so the city of Gig Harbor has decided they want to see everything. And so we have an extra hurdle in the middle of what is also already a very complicated coordination effort. So let me just kind of give you some perspective here. We've got, a schedule that's pretty aggressive to start with. We have basically a hospital, we're building a health center, we're building, a nice hospitality area with a clubhouse, and we're building 184 apartments on top of a parking garage. So there's a lot of coordination that's still happening and will continue to happening with the contractor and the architect with the submittal process to confirm we're ordering what we need to order. We get all these just-in-time deliveries. And I just say all that to let you know that we will try to accommodate what we can from a special request standpoint on resident selections, but we are limited to what we have time to allow, because if we try to entertain more than just a handful of things in the whole building, we risk delaying the whole project. And especially considering that we have to take any of those things, anything that changes really anything about the apartment at all has to go back to the city for a permit review, and we only have a certain amount of time built in to consider those ideas in the first place. You can understand how it gets to be pretty complicated in a hurry. So we're going to do the best we can to have already given you a really nice range of things to pick from. And I think some of the ideas that have come up already are really good ideas. And individually, we may be able to do a few of them, but we can't accommodate very many at all because it will really risk the whole project. And so I just ask for your patience and your understanding, because it is a pretty complicated thing to try to coordinate and be able to accommodate those things. So I think that's it. Any real quick questions about the construction progress photos? I'll be here afterwards if you do. Be happy to answer. Go ahead.
What's the thing in the pond?
What's the cross part of the pond? What that is there's actually two sections of the pond. It's to filter the water. So the water gets filtered to a point on one side and then even further on the next side. And so it's part of the stormwater management for the overall region. So that's why there's like a dam in between the two.